Malik Nabers, drafted as the sixth pick in the NFL draft to the New York Giants, was going into the league as the second best and even the best rookie receiver coming out of the draft. And after clips of training camp, he has not disappointed. But what is disappointing is the lack of a competent quarterback for the receiver. There were some clips of Danny Dimes, the overpaid quarterback, underthrowing easy routes.
Help me! Help me! Nigga! Help me!
And going back to the past preseason game against the Lions, Nabers played 12 snaps with 0 targets. But after watching the film, that brother's always open. Now, Caleb, I know this is your guy. How do you feel about the quarterback play in New York? And how do you think this is going to hurt Nabers this season and for seasons to come?
I think above all else, the quarterback play is very, very concerning for the future of Malik Nabers. Watching the film based off training camp and the preseason, Malik Nabers has really showed out. I think his explosiveness has really been on full display, especially during the training camp. He was catching some crazy catches. I was about to say balls, no pause. But he was catching some crazy catches, whatever route you want, like fades, streaks, post routes, double routes. Like he was looking superb as far as the training camp clips that I've seen. And just watching this preseason game, I thought it was very evident that he was definitely beating his man to man. Now, these are backup corners. These are not starting corners. But I thought that it was very, very impressive how easily he was doing it. It was like almost effortlessly. He's not really known for sure for his route running as much. So just to see, him just creating separation, I thought it was very, very good to see. Now, the quarterback play, which I did say was concerning, for a backup QB, you wouldn't make those throws because they were playing cover 2. So they was kind of blanketing Malik Nabers when he was running those corner routes, like where the corner was in the flat and then the safety was like up top. So they was kind of baiting him to throw. But honestly, a good quarterback makes that throw. A competent quarterback makes that throw. You look at guys that can fit it through a tight window, they would have been able to make that throw. Sean Watts probably would have been able to make that throw. It's really important that he did get drafted to this franchise. So, it's something he's going to have to play with. Danny Dimes is coming back. So, Money Man himself, we'll see how that chemistry goes. The chemistry in training camp looked a bit shaky. If Danny Dimes is truly worth how much he's getting paid, he'll get the job done, in my opinion. I don't think it's much concern towards Malik Nabers, if any at all. He's really looked like a stellar receiver. I had him being wide receiver number 1 coming out of this draft. I thought he was a better prospect with more upside than Marvin Harrison Jr. Not to discredit Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. has a higher floor than him. I think Nabers is just so explosive. He reminds me of Chase a lot, where he can just take a slant home. He can just burst like in open space, and I kind of value that more than a 6'4" guy who can pretty much catch any ball that you're going to throw to him. He doesn't really have the yards after the catch that I would like to see from my wide receiver. I think Nabers will definitely be an interesting prospect to look at over the course of this season. He had that fight, which was pretty funny because it's like he started the entire fight. Apparently, dude said something, but like he literally shoved his arm like right in dude's helmet, and he wasn't really standing on business as that fight was going on. So definitely interesting to see how the New York Giants go. I did have them in the hunt and potentially making some noise this year, but it will definitely be predicated more so on that offense and specifically that quarterback Danny Dimes, how he does this year, because I think they have a really good coach and up and coming wide receiver and staff.
Yeah, man, I will say I'm not really too concerned about what I saw in the preseason game with the lack of targets, because at the end of the day, there's one game, and those guys that are throwing him those passes are backups. They're not going to be starting. Just looking at it from a one game perspective, I didn't think it was that concerning. Now, holistically, for Malik Nabers' career, I would be very concerned, but I think that's something that Malik Nabers fans, and I'm going to put my brother CJ in that category, I don't think that Daniel Jones will be there that much longer. I do think that this may be Daniel Jones' last season as a member of the New York Giants. And so with that, if the New York Giants can be a competent franchise, and I haven't really seen a lot of sign that they can draft good quarterbacks well, but if they can be competent and they can draft somebody or they can make a move to get a quarterback that can help Malik Nabers reach that potential that CJ believes that he has. He definitely has great athleticism, great explosiveness. I will say that I was very, very disappointed with his theatrics and his behavior with that training camp situation of him getting into that fight. People say that our bodies are 90% water. Malik Nabers, maybe he's 90% whole with some of that, just him forcing the issue with that fight. But all in all, I do think that he has great upside. He has great potential. I do think that Daniel Jones, I think that his nickname is very apt, because that's his worth. He's worth dimes. He's not worth that $160 million contract that he has. One of the worst deals in sports, in my honest opinion. All in all, I do think that he'll have a relatively productive season, because I think that he is going to be getting the bulk of the targets. And I think that with that, is there going to be a lot of winning in his career? That is to be determined. I like what I saw. I do think it's concerning from his career standpoint, but just one game, it was just a preseason game. And those guys that were throwing in the football are not going to be throwing in the football in the regular season.
Only thing I can say about Malik Nabers is, brother, I'm praying for you with that quarterback situation.
Help me. Help me. Nigga. Help me.
I pray that Danny Dimes isn't there much longer, and New York can find a good quarterback for you. They don't have to be great, but good to get you the ball. But I do have one quick question. Do y'all see a potential Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase situation repeat between Marvin Harrison and Malik Nabers?
No.
I don't really see that happening. If anything, it'll be a bigger gap between these two. Jay Jettis, in my opinion, is the best receiver in the league when healthy, and I think Jamar is probably like top 5. I think the gap will be a bit bigger. I think I can see Harrison Jr. top 10, and then I can definitely see if he gets really competent quarterback play, I can see Nabers being like top 3. Honestly, he has the type of potential to me. I really like that explosive play style and what he can do after the catch. Now I do see them being really good wide receivers at the end of their careers, so that's not in my opinion to worry about. They have the skill set. The worry more so should be kind of the remaining wide receivers coming out of that draft class. I think those two are really good locks for being really good wide receivers laid down in their career.